Welcome to the Weaver's Way. Hi friends, and welcome back to the Weaver's Way. Today I wanted to give you a quick video that will introduce you to a deck that's new to me that I'm really enjoying, and I wanted to take a moment to highlight it. I haven't seen a lot of kind of quick flip throughs of this. Maybe I shouldn't call it a flip through. It's more of just an introductory video in case this is something that interests you. It's the Lucid Dreams Tarot by Soleil. I have the Midnight Eclipse edition. And so the reason I want to highlight this is I think that this is a phenomenal deck, especially as an indie deck that has a lot of wonderful layers. If you're totally new to tarot, this will definitely get you started and take you all the way through an intermediate understanding of the cards. As well as if you're not new to tarot, if you're a more intermediate or advanced reader, I feel like this deck is not only beautiful, but it's going to add some level of additional understanding to your to your existing practice. So let's dive in. Let me first start off. This deck is created by Saint Soleil, but Saint Soleil now has the business Tarot Stack that distributes the deck for them. And Tarot Stack is a distributor of indie decks, and they have many, and that's their way of bringing indie decks to the public in a way that's really accessible. I like that. They have a website, an Instagram, and a TikTok. You can sometimes get coupons through following their newsletter or when they have sales, and also through their TikTok shop, which is how I bought it. It at full price retails for $70 US. With coupons, I think I paid a little over $50. It did qualify for free shipping within the US, so that helped. They do have some notes on their website about international shipping, so be sure to check that if you are outside of the US. But I feel that it's well worth the price, especially if you're a beginner where you like the art, it speaks to you, and maybe with some coupons would make it more financially accessible. Let's dive into what it looks like so I can give you a quick overview. So in the packaging, it comes in this lovely little sleeve that looks the exact same as the box. The box itself is a magnetic closure. It has 2 spots on the inside for the cards. Then the guidebook sits on top, and there's a beautiful little inscription on the top that's almost like a blessing for the deck. I find that really lovely. And then within the box itself, you get this wonderful, in my opinion, very hefty and thorough guidebook. In the guidebook itself, there is a lot of information. So it's going to walk you through how to get introduced to what tarot is, what their deck is about, how to use the cards, if you'd like to consecrate or bless the deck, examples of how to ask good questions versus less quality questions. So if you're going to work on doing your own spreads, you have some guidance on that, information about shuffling, and then how to make a spread. There's also information about the Fool's Journey for the majors. And then it walks you through that with the major cards, which I feel like is a very helpful explanation. It also walks you through each of the suits and gives you an overview of their energy and what they're associated with. And then it gives you some information about the strengths and weaknesses of each of those suits. And a brief information about court cards, which I feel like are tricky for a lot of people when you're starting out, especially. It breaks down the elemental associations as well as gives you the symbols that you'll later find on the cards themselves. And the zodiac signs, which I thought was a lovely addition for a beginner deck. My beginner decks did not have these. And so I love being able to see the zodiac associations, and those are on the deck as well. It also has the planetary ruler, so if that is something that you incorporate into your practice, it's a lovely way to start digging in there. And then it gives you some information about layouts and interpreting the cards within a spread. I really love how they show you how to weave in the layers of the symbols and cards into a reading. And some information about reversals, which I think is really interesting. If you make the choice to use reversals, it's always good to have some information. And then some beginner spreads, which I think are fabulous. It gives you a list of some ideas here, and then you can make some notes if you want to write in your guidebook. And then it jumps you into the major arcana. Each one has a symbol here to indicate it's part of the majors, as well as its numeral within the deck, the title, its zodiacal association, elemental association, and planetary association. It walks you through an overview of the card and image, the upright meaning, keywords for love, career, and finance readings, the reversal, and then reversal keywords for love, career, and finance readings. Then when you get through the majors, excuse me, you find that, let me get through the majors here. There we are. When you get to the minors, it gives you a new symbol to indicate the suit, as well as its position within the suit itself. And same thing, zodiacal, elemental, and planetary associations, overview, upright, and then keywords, reversals, and keywords. And also a section for notes if you want to write in your guidebook. And then at the back, there are several blank pages for you to make additional notes if you choose. I think that this is a fabulous book. I wish I had had something like this when I started. I love my Light Seers deck, which is the first one I got, but this has a lot more layers to it that I think is really, really exceptional. All right, so let's give you a quick overview of the cards. I do want this to be a shorter video so that you can just get a quick idea of what this is like. I decanted this, as I say. I don't tend to like boxes for the most part, so I tend to take them out of the box and wrap them. So as I mentioned, you'll find planetary associations, zodiacal associations, if there are ones, and an elemental. So here we have Pisces, Jupiter, and water, upright keywords, and then if you flip it in reversal, you get the reversal keywords. As I said, I chose the Black Midnight Edition. It does come in a, I don't think they named it. It's just their standard color for this tarot, and it's like a beige color that you can also get. And to be honest, I love that one also, so I may get that one as well. I really love this deck. So it's a collage style, but the reason this deck spoke to me as a collage more than other collage decks that I have passed on buying is that it feels more like a seamless image for me. I don't really feel called to decks where the images are very disjointed or it's very obvious that it's collage. And so that's just a personal preference thing. But I really like the way that this feels like a seamless image. And then it's got this gold foiling on each of the cards at certain points. And then, so I'll show you a few of the cards. We'll flip through these really quickly. And then I'll show you the edging on the side. Now, some of the images like this double card are quite dark. I think that for the double card, that's very intentional because then as you see with the Queen of Pentacles here, the human image that's overlaid on the background isn't as dark. And I also think when you're looking at it with the beige, if you do watch a flip through of the beige deck, because the beige is lighter, your eye naturally lightens this on its own. So here are some of the cards. And then I wanted to briefly note for you the edging. I won't call this gilding because it's not super shiny foil. It's not sharp like most gilding that you're going to find on the side of a deck. The edging here is this gold matte, and it's not sharp. It's very soft. I will note that when I first got it, it was a little glittery. I think that has worn off, but it's not like it left glitter all over my room or my hands. And at first they were a little sticky to each other, as most edged decks are, but it wasn't anything that kept me from separating them. They weren't stuck together. And I feel that it's really worn in quite nicely after just a few shuffles. I've only had this deck about a week. So that is the Lucid Dreams Tarot by Saint Soleil. I hope this introduction to the deck has been helpful. If you have questions or you have the deck, please leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do all the things. And I hope that this has been helpful. I can't wait to hear from you. Have a great day. This has been The Weaver's Way.